Hello and welcome back. So tonight we are in the kitchen and we're going to be trying to deal with all of this beautiful produce that we got out of the garden today. If you'd like to see the video where we harvest most of this, I will put a link in the description below. For a bit of context, we live near to Brisbane in Australia and it is currently winter, and we are therefore growing things that are your brassicas and your root vegetables and those sorts of things. We do have a couple of tomatoes that have started to ripen up because we can grow tomatoes all year round. They're just a lot slower in the winter. I have picked these a little bit early because the possums have started taking a liking to the tomatoes, so I wanted to make sure I actually got them, and they will finish ripening inside. In addition to the tomatoes, we've got all of the side shoots from the broccoli. We've already harvested the main heads and now we're just collecting all the side shoots. We've got leeks. These are actually from almost 12 months ago. I just thought they were time to get out. They're not getting any bigger, so we might as well just harvest them. I've got the first two Swedes. Yeah, they're a bit funny shaped. They got a bit flooded with all of the crazy rain that we have had, but hopefully they will taste alright. That's fun. And then we've got a heap of broccoli leaves here. I thought it was a bit of a waste to just compost these because they're perfectly edible. So I'm going to store them in the freezer and we can use them in stir fries and soups and other things like that. We've also got outer leaves from the Chinese cabbages that I'm currently growing. Again, same thing, they would normally get composted, but we might as well eat them. And here I've just got some baby bok choy, actually, sorry. We've got baby pak choy. Not really sure what the difference is. These, unfortunately, have all started to bolt. We had a 25-degree day last week, and I think that was just a little bit too warm for them, and they started setting flowers. So I decided to pull them all out. We'll just eat them as baby pak choy leaves. That'll be fine. So, how I'm going to deal with all of this today. There's not too much broccoli here that we won't be able to eat it fresh, so I'm just going to put this into the fridge. So that one's easy. The Swede, I actually need to Google how to store this because I don't think I've ever even eaten it before. So I'll Google that. I have a feeling it might go in the fridge. Tomatoes are going to sit on the bench until they ripen. The leeks we are going to clean, chop up and then throw in the freezer, and then we'll just use them in the place of onions. The broccoli greens and the cabbage we're going to also chop and throw in the freezer, and the pak choy leaves we're going to eat fresh since there's not that many of them. So hopefully it won't take too long to get all this done. It always amazes me how many side shoots you can get off the broccoli, and they just keep coming and coming and making so many meals. And also my daughter loves just walking down to the garden and taking a side shoot and eating it as a snack raw in the garden, which is amazing. So I'm just going to take the roots off these pak choy plants before I put them in the bag. We could have done this in the garden, it would have made things a little bit easier. And into the fridge. And same thing with the leeks, I'm just going to chop off the roots and and peel off all the outer leaves that are really dirty. We've got a hitchhiker on this one, a snail. So he will be going in the bin as well. I'd say snails are one of the biggest garden pests that I've been dealing with at the moment, which is quite unusual for us. We're not normally wet enough to deal with that sort of thing. But this last year it's just been so wet, so much rain, that all slugs and snails have come out to play. As the weather starts to warm up though and we get closer to spring, I fully expect to be seeing other pests in the garden. Okay, now I'll take the tops off the leeks. And I'm just going to slice them into rings, and then we'll wash them really well before we do the next thing. Okay, so the leeks have been washed and I've now put them in the salads and I'll just even them dry. I'm just going to lay them out on this biscuit tray, and then I'll put it in the freezer to freeze into a bit more individual pieces rather than them all clumping together. And then once they're frozen, I will put them into a bag. I'm not going to worry blanching these or anything like that. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. Let's deal with the Chinese cabbage next. So I'm going to freeze this so that we can have it as stir-fry greens. So the first thing I'm going to do is just chop off a bit of the base. And then we'll give them a wash. Actually, I think I might chop them and then wash them. So just discarded the bottom bits. And then from here we're just going to slice them up into strips, and then we will freeze them after we wash them. The Chinese cabbage is interesting because it's actually a bit spiky. I don't know if you can see the spikes on it. See all these little spikes? But when you cook it, it isn't spiky anymore. Okay, so I'm just going to wash these in 2 batches because there's quite a bit here. We're going to just put these straight into a Ziploc bag. I'm also not going to worry about blanching these. I think we're going to have enough for 2 servings here. So I'm going to put half of the small stem pieces in each bag, and then we'll put half of the greens, the top leaves, in each bag as well. Okay, last on our list is the broccoli leaves. So these have a little bit of bug damage, I think, on them. So I'm going to go through and chop out any bits that look a bit funny, and also chop out the tough stems as well. And then we'll give them a good wash before we package them up. Okay, now that we've got all the stems chopped out, we're going to do the same thing and wash these. I'm actually going to throw them into a salt water bath in the sink just to make sure that there's no like bugs on them. I had a pretty good look as I was going through them, but just in case. And our leeks have frozen up enough now that they can be put into a bag. I'm just going to write on the bag what they are so that we don't forget. I forgot to do that on the Chinese cabbage, so hopefully we can figure that one out. The time I remembered to write on them, the bag wouldn't take the pen, so. Okay, so I just googled how to deal with the Swedes, which I think are also called rutabagas. And apparently you're supposed to chop the tops and the bottoms off them, give them a wash, and then put them in either cold storage or in the fridge in a plastic bag. So I'm going to do that now. Well, that was just a quick look at how I'm preserving some of the harvest. I expect we're going to get a lot more into the kitchen over the coming weeks. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!